Hi, in today's video I wanted to talk about LTO drives and how to use backup or archive to an LTO drive from your QNAP. So this one's a little different because we don't actually have the native support within the QNAP itself to do this. So we've got a partner with Archiware with their software called Archiware P5, which is an extra license you can buy. The app is available in our app center. I do already have it installed here. I'll show you how I've got it all connected. So within this NAS is a TVS-H1288X. One thing I do have installed in this NAS is a SAS controller card. So it's one of our expansion cards. So we can see that here, the QXP-820S. If you want more information on it, it is available on our website, so you can go there. But this is what the card looks like. And I've got this installed in one of the PCI Express slots in the back of the TVS-H1288X. There's 3 PCIe slots. One has the 10 gig card in it, and I've got 2 free, so I put this in one of those. From this card, I've got a cable that comes out of one of these connectors, so a SAS cable, and it goes off to a external desktop LTO chassis. So I'll show you what that looks like. So this is the one I'm using, which is a simply LTO device, and my one has an LTO 8 drive inside it. So each tape that you put inside here is 12 terabytes in capacity native, and you can do 300 megabytes a second to it, getting data across from your NAS to it, whether it's for a backup or whether it's for an archive. So these are a really great option if you need to do offline archive, or you need to send backup tapes off-site. You don't have the internet infrastructure to cope with the amount of data you need to send. You can send that off. One thing I will note is if you do go with this chassis does have the SFF 8088 connectors, whereas our card has the 8644 connectors on it. So you do need an adapter cable that has 8644 on one end and an 8088 on the other end. So you can get them in varying different lengths. We do also sell a few of those with QNAP part numbers, but you can use those to link to it. So this is just a external enclosure for an LTO drive connected with an external SAS connection, which is what Archiware P5 needs to talk to the drive. So within this NAS, I do have the Archiware P5 software installed. So if I open that up now, it opens up in a new browser. I was just in here, so it didn't ask me to log in this time, but normally the first thing it will ask you is to log in. So I've got a trial version of the software, some demo version. This one does have every feature enabled on it for the demo, but what you would need if you were to go with this solution to purchase it, you would need the base level version here, which is the top one, the P5 Desktop LTO Edition. So one of the partners of Archiware there, who gave me a little tutorial here, is jpy.com, and this top option would give it so £1,200, and that gives you the software to be able to interact with the drive. So to show you what the software looks like, one of the things I'll go to first is whether it's backup or archive, it doesn't matter. If I click into archive, we can go to Storage Manager and we can see that the drive is added. To add that drive, all I simply did was click New Tape Drive. It says Auto Detect Standalone Drives, and I click Next. I'm not going to do it now because it's going to be looking for ages and it's not going to find any new ones. I've only got one connected. But you click Next, within about 5 seconds it finds the drive and it adds it in. So that's the drive that I've got added there, this IBM Ultra, which is an LTO 8 drive. So that's how you would add it to the system in the Storage Manager within the Archiware P5 software. It's very easy to do. So with this drive, I do have one tape loaded in there. The current tape I've got loaded in there is set for backup. So what I've got here is a couple of pools within Archiware. One is set up for archive and one is set up for backup, which reference the top 2 options here. So you've got backup or you've got archive. So right now we can see that we've got space free, and next to the backup one it says 12 terabytes. That's because I've labeled this tape, I've assigned it with a label to be part of the backup group. If I wanted to change this tape, or I put a new tape in and I wanted it to be part of the archive group, for example, you can easily change that around. So if you go back to the Storage Manager and you highlight the LTO 8 drive, you can click Label down at the bottom right. And it pulls up an option here to select a pool. So right now it's all selected, so let me just show you that again. So if I go to the pools, it's the backup one that has the 12 terabyte tape allocated to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that over to the archive. So if I click Label, oh, you have to select the drive first, click Label. I'm going to this time change it to archive instead of backup. I'm going to erase or recycle the volume because I don't need it to still be working with the other data that's on it. It's going to let me click monitor here, and we'll see that there's a task where it's positioning the tape. You might hear it in the background. The NAS is about 6 feet away from me, so you might hear the tape spinning a little bit here. But it's going to go verify it, add the new label, do everything, and then eventually it'll disappear from the running jobs and it'll move down to the finished jobs section here. So once it's in the finished jobs, there we go, it didn't take long at all. So now it's down here. If I was to close this out, go back to the pools, we can see that the 12 terabyte free has now moved across to the archive. Now traditionally you wouldn't just be using one tape. For the demo here I've only got the one tape, but you would have multiple tapes so that you can assign perhaps archive 001, archive 002, and as your data grows and you need more space, you can simply just keep loading in the next tape. And Archiware will keep track with an index of your data, so if you need to recall a specific piece of data, you go look for it, and Archiware will tell you exactly which tape to put back in. You don't have to put the first one in, it searches through it, then you have to put the second one in until it finds the data. It already knows, it will say something like insert archive tape, archive 003. You just put that one in, it'll wind through the tape very fast, and it'll find you the data to pull back. So now I've got a tape allocated for archive. I can create an archive plan, if you like, a job for archive. So I've already got one created here. So if I go in and edit that, we can see lots of different options within here. So you can do auto archive. So I've got a directory to archive that's added. There's a lot of options here with archive because it's effectively data that's going to be missing from your NAS once you've done it. So once you've copied the data to the archive, we can then sort of link back to the QNAP to deal with it, to sort of match whatever settings you've chosen here. So for example, if you go through to Archiware here and you set a bunch of directories up to archive that perhaps have some older data in it, let's say you're backing up everything from say 2018 or before, once the archive job has run, what you can do is you can then come back to the QNAP. You can open up something like our Q filing application. And in Q filing, you can create a filing task. So in here, let's say I want to do everything within the public folder. You get to choose when the task is complete, what do you want to do? Keep the files or delete the files? Well, I'm running this to delete the files because I know I've archived them off to a tape to save some capacity. So here, if I was to go to the delete option, a little warning that it will delete the files. I'm going to click next. I'm going to create this as a one-time task, not something that runs on a schedule. I want to run this manually after I've done a backup to the LTO drive. So I'm going to say run now, so we'll go next. And now I can create some filters for the rule. So some source file filters, for example, I can say if the modified date is equal to or before, for example, we can pick a date. So if I wanted to go and pick a specific date, I can type that, hit the calendar. Maybe I wanted to pick all the way back to sometime in 2018. We'll just pick today in 2018. I can now apply that as a filter. So go find every file from that specific date and earlier, which I know has been backed up or archived to the tape. And then I can effectively run through, apply this job, and it's going to go off and run that job, find those files, and then delete the files. So you can set lots of different options. You can move the files around. There's lots of things you can do. But one thing you can't do here is move the files to an LTO drive. We can't do that from within the QNAP OS. It must be done within the Archiware P5 software. So Q filing is a great little link in to something that can complement the Archiware P5 solution. So over here within the jobs, I'll go to the backup and show you what that looks like. Again, we can come to backup plan. We can look at the backup. We can see here we've got a backup task where it's set to run at 10:30 every weekday. That's how I've got this one set up. If I wanted to add some different paths instead of just the public folder, I can click in here. I can click the 3 dots, and it's going to show me the entire local disk of the QNAP. So all the different ZFS shares that are there. So I can click through any of the ZFS shares. So ZFS2 underscore data has the public share. So I can add different volumes, different shares that I've got on my QNAP into here to the job as well. So it doesn't have to just be one specific share. You can do it down to multiple levels, so you can choose exactly what data is being backed up within here. Yeah, this is Archiware P5. If you're looking at getting it, you can get it from jpy.com. And again, the license you're looking for at the moment is the P5 Desktop LTO edition. I think the licenses are changing up soon from what I'm hearing, so they might change a little bit to offer you an extra tape drive. So if you wanted 2 tape drives, I think there was a license coming that would give you 2 tape drives for the same license, but for right now this one says the single tape drive. And again, the LTO drive I'm using is an LTO 8 drive in the simply LTO chassis here. Very tidy, very quiet chassis, and it's just has a power cable in the back and a SAS cable linked to the PCI Express card that I've got in my NAS. So again, this will work with any QNAP NAS that runs on Intel or AMD hardware and has a PCI Express slot that works with the QNAP SAS cards that we've got here. So the one I'm using is this one. We do have another one with 4 ports on the back of it, but this one's absolutely fine for the simply LTO case that we're using here today. And again, this is Archiware P5. Very, very powerful software, very capable, has lots of features like metadata, so it can even give you thumbnails and previews of images, videos, things like that you would back up with it. But I'm not going to run a backup through this right now with the software, but effectively you would just have your backup job and you can just run it on your schedule, run it on demand, however you want to do. But yeah, this is how you do it, and adding the tape drive couldn't be more easy. It was literally 3 clicks. New tape drive, auto detect, there it is. Then you put a label on the tape that you want to do. Very easy to use, very easy way to offload 12 terabytes at a time. So again, you can have multiple tapes as part of a pack as well. So you can have many working together effectively as one job. If anybody has any questions on using a QNAP with an LTO drive, please do let us know down below. Again, this is Archiware P5 is the software that we're using for this. They have a couple of little guides up on their website how to use it over at Archiware as well, and we'll try and link those down below in the bottom of the video. All right, thanks a lot for watching. See you next time.